Voila. Voila. Hey, I'm only coming out to play. Nothing more that I hate in this life.
Thank you guys for being here tonight. This is Grammy Pros Up Close and Personal. And we're going to talk to Mr. Anderson Paak this evening. My name is DJ Moonbaby, so I'm going to be your host for this evening. So we're going to have a good time. But it's great to have you tonight. I haven't seen you in a very long time. Actually, it's been years.
I was living in Inglewood.
In back of Popeyes.
Yes.
On La Brea.
Getting banged on. Yeah,
Yes.
That was wild.
And you were Breezy Lovejoy at the time.
Shh. Okay, let's move forward.
Your alter ego.
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm still breezy to the homies. Yeah.
You're always breezy because
Yes,
you're a cool dude.
Yeah.
So I want to know, like, who was Breezy Lovejoy versus Anderson Paak? What's the evolution of Breezy? Who was Breezy and who was Anderson?
I mean, I've always been breezy. Like, I've been breezy since I was like 11 years old. So it's just like my nickname, you know. And you know, I'm an air sign. Shout out to the air signs out there. Yeah.
Is that an Aries? You gonna call it out?
Aries? That's a fire sign.
Oh, well, hey. That's
Moon Baby? Are you sure? We're going to change your name.
Look.
We're going to switch your name up. Yeah.
You know my sign.
You a Cancer.
Right.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah. So I'm Aquarius. Okay.
You just had to get that out the way.
But I don't know. I'll always be breezy to the homies, you know, that know me. But honestly, I was going through a lot of stuff, transitional stuff in just my personal life. I had a baby. I had a wife. You know, I was straight from Korea. I had to really like get on my like grown up stuff really quick, and I'm really happy that happened to me because it kind of turned on a switch and it got me into really working hard and developing some good work habits and work ethic. And I didn't have that before. I was just kind of thinking that things would just happen because I was talented and I had a nice smile and I was fresh.
It worked for you.
Yeah, but
for a little while.
yeah, when things started, happening like that, I was like, okay, I want everything to represent that. So I switched it. I stopped going by Breezy Lovejoy. And honestly, I remember thinking like, am I really gonna, when I meet Dr. Dre, like, am I really gonna be like, hi, my name is Breezy Lovejoy? Like, I couldn't.
It wasn't cool enough, right?
I couldn't see it.
Well, let's back up before we go into Dre and where you are today. So you're an 80s baby. 1986 is your year, and originally from Oxnard, California. You put Oxnard on the map, I might tell you, because I have not heard about Oxnard so much since I heard about you recently. So grew up Black and Korean family and a drummer in the church. So how has this all influenced you as an artist today? I mean, you were drumming in gospel, but that wasn't ever an interest to you to go into the gospel music world, or something that was put upon you by your family since you were so heavily active in church?
I feel like I do gospel music. It's like, it's in there, It's just a different perspective, It's like, it's definitely the foundation, the perspective, even growing up in Oxnard, it's just far enough away from LA to where it's small town. So I just had a different approach on gospel music, on R&B, on funk, on hip hop, and that's what I've been doing. And it's everything, like the church, the drums, that's all my foundation, and that's a big part of what makes me unique, I think, in this whole hip-hop thing and this whole R&B and funk thing. There's not a lot of band leaders and a lot of musicians that really know their instrument and can deliver, some real vocals and MC as well. So it's either or a lot of times. So I'm really proud of that. That's really what I pride myself on, is that foundational thing of being able to play the drums, having that church background, because that was my schooling. That's where I learned everything. A lot of people try to go and they pay colleges to try to learn the things that I learned in church, learning how to keep time and follow instruction and develop like good reflexes, so I can bounce back and learn how to play with a band, all that stuff. That was experience I had for years just playing in church. So, I didn't really think about going in the gospel because I just always thought I'd just couldn't hold a tune compared to like a lot of the singers that I grew
So
up.
you didn't think you could sing that way?
Nah, not compared to like the singers in church, you know, that would come in and, you know, and just even this is the best musicians, the best singers like I've ever, you know, seen, you know, in church and just little churches, and they could care less about fortune and fame, you know, they just do it. So.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what gave you the confidence to come out in the front and sing and play drums?
I don't know. It's probably when I started seeing like the girls, like the attention from the women. You know, all through high school, I was like, I ain't getting no play. You know, I was a big guy.
Were you a nerd?
I was not a nerd because I wasn't scholastic. Like I wasn't on no like I cheated my whole way through high school pretty much.
Tell the truth.
But I had a few like things I was into. It was like music because I was doing music all the way. So I was DJing, making beats. All the whole nine. I was into food, and that's probably it. I liked girls, but I was always like the friend zone funny dude or whatever. So I did that all the way through high school, and when I got out of high school, I was like, wait, hell no. Like, I ain't even seen
No,
this is some bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I was hot, because I was like, oh, hell no. And then, like, it was all a blur. Like, I remember, you know, I had a lot of things happen to me in high school. You know, my parents got locked up, and a lot of things happened. So I had to kind of just put music to the side for a little bit. But I met this one girl, and I was really fond of her. And she went to the church, and she came back from college, and she saw that I had lost all this weight, and I was like, you know, I was different. She was like, oh, okay, you're cute, and this and that. And then we started hitting it off, and that was like my first, you know, thing, like consistently getting some, you know. And then she was like, I started playing her my songs, you know, that I had these little songs, and I was playing around with singing and stuff. And she was like, you should sing. I'm like, what? You sound good.
What type of songs were these? What were you talking about?
They were these weird, like, left field songs, because after I got out of high school, I didn't want to do nothing hip hop. Like, everybody was like, can you make beats like Lil Jon? Can you blah, blah? And I was like so over it, you know. I was getting a little bit of attention from like little labels and stuff, but once they started asking me to make music like so and so and so and so, that turned me off. And then you know, my parents, I was trying to, you know, I was going to visit my mom, and she was locked up in Corona, and I was just over it. So I was done with music for a little bit, and I just worked at 9 to 5. I did assistant living for like years, and then I started getting back into the music. When I started writing again, I was making little weird songs. I was trying to be like Beck or like anything that was different than hip hop. Like, I didn't want it to be anything close to R&B or hip hop, so it was just weird. But she was, you know, she boosted my confidence. She was like, it's good, it's sexy, it's nice. And
That's
I was
all
like,
it took, right?
It was a
And then Breezy Lovejoy was born?
yeah, Breezy Lovejoy was born. I was always Breezy. I threw the Lovejoy in there because I thought it sounded like smooth, and I thought it was something like cool, you know. But it shows how much I know, you know.
So, you know, let's fast forward. You put out a single called Suede, and you have a group, No Worries.
Yes, Lord.
Producer Knowledge, who's worked with Kendrick Lamar. And this single was huge traction, Spotify, most shared track. Somehow, Dr. Dre gets it, plays it over and over, and now he wants to meet you. What's that like?
It was dope. I got in there. They was like, yo, we got some music. Ty Cannon, the A&R, hit me. He was like, we got some music for you for Dre's project. I was like, okay, sure. You know, Dre's project, yeah. And but they were like DJ Dahi, DJ Khalil. I was like, okay, that's what's up. I want to meet them, you know. And I really didn't think it would reach Dre's ears. I just thought they were gassing me.
Like,
yeah, I was like, everybody talking about Dre's project, like, get out of here.
Detox,
Get on my face
you
with
talking
that.
about?
Yeah, Detox. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I was like that. My manager was like, nah, we going, you know. So I was like, okay, whatever. So we went over there. And the first two people I meet once I get through the wall of security was Dre and DOC. And they was definitely like, what's up? I was like, damn, all right. Two tall ass, like, you know, people.
Yeah, they're like little He-Mans.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, damn, okay. So, yeah, they was watching the playoffs. I said, what's up? And then they went back to doing their thing. And I went into the studio. I met Mez and Justice, who were like the main writers on the album. And they were like, we love that song, Suede. We've been playing it for weeks. I was like, that's what's up. And they're like, we got these beats from Khalil and Dahi, and we want to know if you want to write some on it. I was like, for sure. They played the beat. It was all in a day's work. The first beat they played. and I loved it. It had so much space, and it was like the bass line was infectious, and I loved it. And then they're like, hold up. They turned the beat off, and they're like, hold up, we want to play Suede for Dre. I was like, he ain't heard it? And they're like, no, we ain't gonna play it for him. And I was like, oh, hell no. Y'all about to get me kicked out before I even...
Right.
Let me get on the mic first, before, because if you don't like it...
Cringing.
It's going to be a rap. Yeah, and then so I was like, so you got in there, and they played it, and I remember he walked to the board, and he just turned it up, cranked it, and he was just like, okay. And then the song went off, and DLC was like, what? You said all your chicks cook grits? He was like, I had a girl that used to do that. That's what's up, young blood. I like that. And then Dre was like, yo, play that again. And they played it again. Then they played it again. And then after the third time, he was like, all right, let's work. And then that was it. I was over there a lot after that.
What do you think he saw in you? Like, what was it about you that he was like, I have to rock with this kid and put him on my new album that people have been waiting for years for me to put out something?
Yo, I remember he was like, you got that natural pain in your voice. You know what I'm saying? And it was like after like an 8-hour session, I was tired. You know, I was like, yeah, nigga, because I'm tired and shit. Like, we've been doing this shit for fucking 8 hours, the same line. Like, I'm tired, bro. My shit hurts. And he was like, I like you got that pain. And I was like, word. So maybe that was it. Maybe that was it. Yeah.
Dre the slave driver.
Yeah, he was doing it. Yeah. But it was crazy because after that shit was done, I was like, damn, that shit is like, because then I brought my little track, because we did All in a Day's Work, and you listen to that one, and it's like the vocal production is really crazy. Like, all the little things that he really hears is really amazing. He's like one of the best vocal producers I've ever worked with. I'm used to working with producers that send me a beat, and then I do what I do and send it back.
That's a different kind of production.
That's it. You know, it's a lot. It goes on a lot now, and it's dope. But he's really in there, you know. And then I remember I brought the track Animals, where I did the vocals by myself, but I feel like it's like kind of nice. It's two different vibes, but, you know, I remember hearing that, like, damn, I can really hear the difference.
So where were you when you got the call mentally? Were you at a point where you were like, I'm ready to throw in the towel, this is not going to happen for me? Were you like, I feel like my big break is coming? You know, when he actually called you and wanted to work with you, where were you mentally?
I felt good. I mean, I felt like things were starting to get lit. Like, by the time we got to Dre, like, Suede was starting to move, and you know, even I had another tune, Drugs. You know, it was like these two songs were moving around. Another song, Rilla, like, you know, it was starting to kind of bubble a little bit. And then when we got to Dre, it was like, okay, I was going into like a little boot camp, you know, and I would have never thought he would drop his album before I dropped it. Now I thought I would have dropped 5 albums before he dropped an album, you know. So it was like, it's just crazy. I just think how like divine it all was, because I couldn't have planned it better. It's like Dre all of a sudden is like got this rush of inspiration. He's working on this movie. He wants to do an album, and he was working quick, you know. Every time I got there, I go there and he was like, I got this joint. It's got Kendrick on it. It's got me on it. They already had their verses done. He was like, I just want you to come in right here. I was like, all right. Like, and I write something, and he would love it, and then we lay it, and that was it. And every time I get over there, it was just like that. So I didn't really know what to think. I just knew I just wanted to keep showing up, you know, and like not just be there, but really show up, you know, and execute every time I got there. I wanted to like kill it. And I didn't know what was going to happen until literally the pre-order came up, and I was like, okay, well, it's happening.
Did you know you were working on that album?
I swear, not until like maybe like a few days before like the pre-order dropped.
Because it was like a secret when I was around here. Nobody was telling nobody
what was
going on.
It was all kinds of people was like saying different things, and nobody was, you know, there's some people who have been working with them for just, man, 8+ years, you know, so they was just like, you know, there's a lot of people that was saying different things that, you know, I just never knew. I just knew I wanted to just keep going, and I'm going to get on stuff, you know, every time, and whatever I get on, I'm going to try to kill that shit. That was all I was thinking about.
So what has Dre shared with you in particular that he's given you, like some jewels about being an artist and being in this industry, that some moments maybe you've shared with him that you've gained this incredible insight now for your own career?
A couple things. Most recently, he was like, "You gotta stop fucking with everybody. Like, you tight. Like, you don't need to do joints with so and so and so and so. Like, you like the modern day." This is what he told me. He was like, "I see you as like modern day Marvin Gaye. Like, you on another level. So that means like, you don't need to just be fucking with everybody." And like, I never like it was like, damn, I gotta be choosy and shit. Like, I never, you know what I'm saying? That was something that's like. I wasn't naturally like that, you know? I'm like, I come from like, okay, I want to work and collab.
You love
like,
everybody.
You know what I'm
because
saying?
you love
Yeah,
joy.
yeah. So it's like, okay, for sure. But it really put in perspective, like, damn, this is a lineage. Like, he don't just fuck with everybody, and the people that he fucks with is like, they really go off to do amazing things. So it's like, okay, you gotta take this serious, and it's like, know your worth, you know? And I remember before that, when we were working on Compton, he was telling me a story how he had the Chronic like done, and he was shopping it around trying to get a deal. Nobody was fucking with it.
That's unheard
People
of.
was laughing.
It's a classic.
They was like, "What? How? What? You know, this is jazzy. What is this? You know?" And like he said, usually he went home one day after like getting denied a bunch of times, and usually there's a bunch of people at his house. But that day it was just Nate Dogg making a bowl of spaghetti, like a pot of spaghetti one day. And he went there, and it was just him there, and he was like, "Yo, Nate, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do." Like,
But he was Dr. Dre already.
that's
NWA.
what I'm saying.
How did
That's what I'm
that
saying. So
happen?
can you imagine, like, he was almost doubting himself. Like, he had the Chronic,
Right.
and
Literally had it.
And it took Nate Dogg to be like, "Yo, I don't care what nobody say. This is a classic. This is gonna change the world. Like, trust me, this is gonna blow." And it kept him in high spirits. And then a few days later, he met Jimmy, and
Jimmy Iovine, and the rest is history. There it is. And now you're a part of Aftermath. So
yes, Lord.
congratulations on that. All right, so let's talk about the album Malibu. So you went from Venice, and now you're Malibu. What's this thread of these beach cities that you're tying together? Why the title Malibu?
For me, it was just a way to give like a location to like my musical journey, my musical personalities. Everywhere we were going, people were saying, "You can't do this and that. You got to pick a lane. You got to pick a lane. You got to pick a lane." I was like, why? Like, why? Like, that people are into different things now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the people are ready for artists that have a lot of dynamic and range. And I think that's going to be, I want to try to help pave the way for the next artists that are going to be on that tip, to where they're not boxed into just one thing, Of course, we come out of hip hop. Of course, we come out of gospel and blues and jazz and all that thing. But what's next? We trying to push past that.
You got to evolve too
Exactly.
as artists.
So with the whole Malibu and Venice thing, like, I wanted to help people digest what I was doing musically, because I know not everybody's on that tip right away, but I want to show them, like, okay, we're gonna start at Venice, and Venice is gonna be fun. You know what I'm saying? Venice, we with the hoodlums, we on the street ground level. You know what I'm saying? We rolling up J's. We over here, we might be at, partying on the street. We drinking cheap liquor. We on the beach. You know what I'm saying? We doing our thing. We don't get too deep, not too personal. We gonna keep it light. We gonna keep it dancey. We gonna keep it fun. And then we gonna elevate from there. We gonna take everybody with us, though. We gonna elevate together. We gonna get deeper in the water. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna take everybody with us. We're gonna get a little more personal. We're gonna get a little more deep. We're gonna get a little more dark. We still gonna have fun, And that's what I was getting at with that. So I wanted to take them on a musical journey from Venice to Malibu. Malibu was kind of like the maturation. I had no clue I was gonna be working with these different people that I was gonna be working with, but I knew, because I had some of the songs already for years, that I'm gonna hold on to this, because I know there's gonna be a time for this where people are gonna be ready for this. I'm gonna be ready for this. And I just gonna trust that it's all gonna work out, Well,
let's talk about this new video you put out last week. You co-directed with Chris Lay, and The Season, Carry Me, and The Waters. So it's a trilogy of sorts for 3 songs off the album. Dope. I've seen it a couple times, and it's basically the artwork on your album coming to life. So give us a little bit about the insight of, the concept of the video related to these songs, and why you particularly picked these songs to bring to a visual place.
I was really inspired by the artwork. Dewey Saunders and Corey Gomberg, they really went in on the artwork and the aesthetic. So it was important to me that I wanted the video, the visuals to be in line with that. So I was breaking my neck trying to figure out how we can do that. That's why it took so long. But I wanted to deliver something really special, and I just took my time with it. I wrote a rough treatment, and I didn't know how I was going to do everything. But thank God for Chris Lay, and he really helped me, and walk me through it, because I knew a lot was going to depend on the post efforts. And Dewey Saunders really killed it, and him and Chris really killed it, So, yeah, it's just honestly, it's really telling the story of what I was going through from the time that I was having my family, and we were out there, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. I knew I wanted to take care of my family. I knew that they deserved better, but I'm looking at them, and we're sleeping on the floors, and we're going from one place to another place, and things aren't happening for me as fast as I want them to. And my mom is locked up, and my sisters are all fighting and stuff, and something is telling me to just keep on with this music thing. And thank God for people that were just really believed in me. So they wanted to help keep me afloat. People like Shafiq Hussein, who's in the video. People like Omos Keith, Sarah, creative partners, people that took us under their wing and were just like, rock with us. I was living with Shafiq. That's a real deal. I was his chauffeur, his weed roller, his chef, his videographer, his co-writer. He held me down heavy, So, and it was because of that I was able to get on my feet and, get to the next level. But that's what it is, and, that story is just kind of just showing how important it is to, the relationships, how important they are. It can be, sink or swim out here, and sometimes you need a life raft, and that was totally it.
Well, luckily you had it. So in the video, I see you're in a strawberry field, and that's for the season. And I read about your mom. That was kind of her business at one time. Is that a part of that scene related to your mother?
Yeah. It's just about really a testament to hard work and it paying off, and trusting in the process, knowing that things are gonna pay off in the fruit of your labor. And my mom was a successful black business owner in the middle of Ventura County, which is predominantly white, and it's built on Latino workers that work fields. And she owned a produce company, and it was kind of just like my tribute to her too, for her to she's never had a boss growing, all the years that I've watched her growing up, she was her own boss, and she did her own thing, and she was strong, and that was the example I had. And then when she got locked up, she did her time, she didn't complain, she did her thing, got her degree when she was in there, then got out, got another degree, and then studied abroad, and just kept doing her thing and just killing it. So, and then, things worked out for her in the end. So it was like all that work paid off in the end. So I wanted to just kind of like show with that like all these seeds, like they harvest in the end. So that's what I was getting at with that. And I'm from Oxnard, so that's it. That's what the city is built on.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So
strawberry fields,
there
Oxnard,
yeah,
and Anderson Paak. So is that your mom in the video?
Yeah.
That you're walking with?
Yeah, looking like Diana Ross and shit.
Yeah, I was like the white glasses looking cool.
Yeah, she came correct. Had a little wig and stuff. Yeah. She came right. I said, don't come looking crazy. Come crazy. She came correct.
You styled her?
I didn't have to. I told her. I gave her the warning. I was
okay,
like,
you get your style
this
from
gonna
her.
get views. So she came right. I think she brought the glasses and the wigs and the robe. Like we had a little thing, but she was ready. Brought the oil, everything.
She was looking hot.
No, she was on point.
I knew it was your mom, though.
Yeah,
I did
you
know
knew
that.
it, right? Yeah,
right.
It was natural.
So the baptism in the waters.
You know it was my mom.
Maybe y'all look alike.
I look like her?
I don't know. Yeah, okay. I think so. That's what it was. But the baptism in the waters, which is featuring BJ Chicago Kid, and you're being baptized in the water. What's that all about?
I think it was kind of like From Breezy Lovejoy to Anderson Paak, it's come out like fresh, like, ooh, I got another chance to like be lit, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I think it was kind of like that. And Shafiq was part of the people that helped, get through that life raft out there, and he helped me get to the next level. So I thought it was only right that he dunked me in the water and I come up lit, like, fresh, from a field worker to Coachella stages
nice and clean.
And shit, so you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to try to deliver the visual for that whole thing. Like, it's never too late. Like, you can change. You can
turn
do
it all
whatever you
around.
want. You can stay the same if you want to, but
Life
that's
ain't
boring.
about that, right?
You
Life
know,
is
to
about
each his-
progress.
yeah, whatever works for you. But you know, I think I think it's fun to evolve, and I get bored, and I like to switch it up.
So let's get into the process about songwriting for you and how that's a talent, very much so, and you're very witty with the pen when it comes to writing. So when you started the album Malibu, did you already have concepts and melodies and, you know, different ideas or songs already written, or did you just start from scratch completely with the album?
No, I had a handful of songs that I've been holding on to. I had songs like "The Bird" and "Parking Lot" and "Celebrate," "Put Me Through." Initially, it was gonna be like an all old soul album, right? And then what happened was I dropped Drugs, and then it was pretty lit when I dropped Drugs, and so I was like, oh wait, okay, hold on. And then I was like, okay, maybe we'll do an album kind of like in the vein of this, and then we'll set them up for Malibu. And so me and Low Def, we really went in on Venice, and that's where like songs like Drugs and Might Be and Put You On, and it had more of a modern sound. And also too, I had never done stuff like that, so it was kind of experimenting on things I had never done before. So that was the science behind that. And so I kind of held on to those other songs, those soul songs, because I was kind of shook. Like, I don't know if people won't vibe to this. Like, I don't know if they're gonna get bored or what. And I wasn't really ready to kind of put out my most personal tunes at the time. But I had those songs, and Venice was out, so it was time to start working on the next project. And I was kind of on the fence on whether I wanted to come out with The Bird and all these different things, but I had them. I knew I was going to drop them at some point. But I went in I started working with Knowledge, and we started doing the Sway thing and working with the No Worries thing. Then I worked with Dre and did that the whole thing. Then I jumped in with Game right after Dre's thing and did his crazy ass sessions. And then
What was crazy about his sessions?
well, yes. So with Dre, it's real tight knit. Like it's not gonna be like a bunch of people. You know, it's fun. You know, we still drink and have a good time, but it's it's more tight knit. With Game, it's like literally maybe as many people as it is in this goddamn room, and all female. Like it's like maybe 30 like
The engineers
models,
are females too.
15 gangbangers, like uncles, niggas painting shoes and stuff, and like all kinds of shit. So
It's like Venice Beach.
yeah, and then it's Game, and he in the middle of all this, he's like, he's a real, he's a star, so he's spitting, he writing, he like, all right, go in the booth, I want some blah, 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 and I'm like, oh damn, I gotta get in the booth, like all these people, and then so, you know what I'm saying, it was like put you on the spot, like right after I got out the Game thing, or right after I got out the Dre thing, and Dre's album wasn't even out yet, so I had hopped right in there with them. In the first few days I didn't even sing a note. I just got drunk off Ciroc and like didn't even remember nothing. And then one day they called me and they were like, all right, we actually want you to get on the mic now. And then so I got there, and then I hopped on some, and right away, we just clicked. And I don't even think he really knew like what I was capable of, and it just worked. And then I got used to like just hopping in. It was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. It was like a Greystone, but a studio.
Did he hear about you from Dre? Is that how he wanted to work with you?
I think he heard Suede. He heard Suede through Stat. Yeah, and after Suede, he was like, bring that little nigga over here. Like I got something for him. And I got there, and we partied and stuff, and then we started making records. And then yeah, so I like after all that, like I had a lot of like. I had a better, like my vision was clearer for what I wanted Malibu to be, because I did the whole thing with Dre, then I did the thing with a Game, and then I started working with Schoolboy and stuff. So I was like, oh yeah, this is West Coast. Like, okay, so like I started realizing like, the little voids that I could hit that I hadn't thought of before, and then it kind of clicked. I was like, yeah, let me get some stuff from Khalil, and let me get some stuff from Knife Wonder, and let me fuck with some of these like hip hop producers that people aren't utilizing right now, because,
I mean,
they don't
you
know
know
how
all
to.
about the underground
Yeah,
scene.
yeah, so it kind of brought me back to that, because before I was like thinking like, real futuristic, you know, with it. You know, I wanted to do some, I don't know. And so when after that, I was kind of like, it struck me like, oh yeah, like I could do something, you know, over here with it, you know, and that's what I did. So it definitely helped with the vision for Malibu. And then on top of that, once Dre dropped, I had a gang of access. So everybody wanted to like send beats and stuff. So I knew like who I wanted to work with, and it was no problems anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It was
you were
like,
popular now.
niggas was getting right back to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was really cool. You know, so
That's a good feeling, though,
it
right?
was awesome. And I had a lot of, like, it was good momentum. I had a lot of confidence after that, and working with Game and everybody. And the whole other half of the album I did, like, right before we went on tour. And I was just so on a good one that I was just going. And I did the season, Carry Me. I did all those, like, on the road. You know, I did that in Atlanta. I did the season in Atlanta on the road, on a break at Patchwork Studios in Atlanta. You know, I was just like feeling. I was like, what? This is where Outkast and T.I. like, I
Legendary.
was just, yeah, I was feeling it.
So let's talk about the songwriting again. So you wrote a lot about your life growing up with your family and a lot of painful childhood memories and things of that nature on this particular record. So how were you able to actually channel your songwriting to finally come to fruition on this album?
I mean, writing is just, I was just always in the habit of writing, right? So I've never been out of that pocket, and it's been a while. Like, I feel weird if I'm not in the studio. If I'm not on the stage, after this, I'm gonna go straight to the studio, you know? And so I got into the habit around the time I switched to Anderson Paak of just being in the studio and always writing. And even if I'm not in the studio, I'm writing things, little things. And so I went on tour. I got to go on tour with like Earl Sweatshirt and No Worries and all these different young, super talented writers that write these real dense, you know, have these dense topics and real lyrical. And I was inspired by all of that. And traveling, I'm really inspired by traveling and the conversations I have with different people. And just being at the ground level with these people. And so when I'm traveling, you know, you get those moments of isolation when you're in the car and you're just looking out the window, and that's really when a lot of these things come to me. And after the Dre thing, this was the first album that I really felt like it was anticipated. I never felt like that before. So I think that brought something out of me too. You know, I wanted to really deliver, because before, we was just dropping straight to Bandcamp or, you know, whatever, SoundCloud, and it was, you know, that was
Another
it.
level for
you.
you.
And then we had to, you know, just try to promote it as best as we could. But I felt like after this, people were like, okay, what's he gonna come out with? We heard him on this, we heard him on that. What's he got? Is he got something of his own? And I was like, damn right. And I was such a blessing, because at that point, then it's like, okay, people want to hear what you got. What's your background? What's going on? And I had these songs already, you know what I'm saying, like, that were from a personal place before Dre, before all of that. So it was nothing, no pretentious, none of that. It was like, these were joints that I did in a little box, you know, like, they know in a little ass studio was nobody checking for me, like nobody gave a damn. And so that was it. That was the realest point. And I was like, we're going to take these songs, we're going to mix them, and we're going to put these out, because this is the most realest stuff. And then the other half is going to be like from all the inspiration we're getting from all the new things that we have. So it was just like, it was
easy.
It was fun.
So we're going to do a song breakdown real quick of the Malibu album. I'm going to throw out some of my favorite tracks from the album, and you just tell me the inspiration for each one real quick. So first one is Heart Don't Stand a Chance.
Heart Don't Stand a Chance is just like, well, first off, let me say, I'm very inspired by my bandmates and
The Free Nationals.
the Free Nationals. They're like my closest friends. Those are my brothers. So I'm very inspired by all the turmoil and the ups and downs that they go through in their relationships. I think it's very exciting. I live vicariously.
Are you saying they inspired this song?
Well, I'm just saying a lot of
Sort of.
songs are, you know, I grab and pull from different things. But honestly, it's like, it's that whole like cat and mouse tennis match that you have with the person when you talking to them and you drinking, and you know you're attracted, but there's that whole conversational thing. Because if you can't have the mind, like, I don't know, you know, like if it's too fast or she want to give it up too fast, whatever. I like doing the whole thing where we get to, you
Tell
know,
us what your thing
play
is.
with we get to have that conversation, and, you know, we know the chemistry's there, and we can like you know? So that's what that whole thing is about with Heart Don't Stand a Chance. And it's literally just like, okay, there's no one else here. Like, the bar is about, the lights are on, and now we still talking, like, for real, you know? Like,
All right,
come on,
the
let's
cat
go.
and the chase.
Yeah. So,
Right.
but like, that conversation is sometimes like, if you know you can have it, sometimes it's like, it's almost, that's just as good sometimes, you know? It can get messy after that when you start.
All right, moving on to
Yeah.
The Bird. It has a Sly Stone feel to me.
The Bird is just, you know, that's personal life story stuff. Growing up, I grew up with 2 older sisters, 1 little sister. My mom was always gone working, you know, helping to pay the bills. My pops was out the picture when I was like 7. He went to prison early. And my mom was also she liked to gamble a lot. So she was doing her thing. So that was just like, that song is kind of just like a day in the life, or just me looking over my childhood till now. And yeah.
That's that. So Am I Wrong featuring Schoolboy Q. That's a groove right there.
If she can't dance, then she can't ooh. Like, that's it. Like, is she goofy on the dance floor? Like, I can't see it. You may be into some weird shit. Like, yeah, so, but, yeah, it's just.
It's just the season. So The Season and Carry Me, why is that a 2-part song? How did you end up writing that as a 2-part titled song?
I wrote, Knife Wonder gave me the beat for The Season, and it was amazing, and it took a while to like get something to it. I went through different drafts and stuff, and then I got to Patchwork Studio, and I finally got something that I liked, and I laid it down, and I relayed it, and I was like, okay, this is something good, and I had that. And then Caleb Connor, my DJ, and he used to go by Low Def, and he sent me the beat for Carry Me a while ago, and I knew I was gonna do something to it. I had that hook, you know, 6 years old, I had all that for it. And so, I don't know, for some reason, after I did The Season, I asked the engineer, like, can you bring up this other beat and let's see if it works for it, because I think this is all I'm gonna have to this season thing. And he loaded it up, and I thought it worked for it. And I wanted to do something with Malibu too, where we were experimenting with switch ups and doing different things like that. And I thought that was a good one to do that with. So it ended up working out, and I just did the whole song there and put it together, and we added some instrumentation later.
So Malibu is an amazing album, and what can we look for the future sound-wise from you? I know you are in the folk and a lot of different other genres, so do you think you're going to be trying some new things out with the next project you work on?
Yeah, why not? You know, I'm inspired by a lot of different things. I don't actually know, though. I just like to cut, record, and then get the cream of the crop when it's like time, and I just keep recording even till like
Till the wheels fall
mastering,
off.
yeah, till I really can't do it no more, because that's how we get the good stuff. So yeah, but honestly, I like to do different things for different albums. Like, you know, every album is like my debut album, I guess, for some reason. But honestly, like, this is like gonna be my 7th, 8th album, like doing this whole process. So I'm just trying not to get bored, and so do different things that inspire me and stay hungry with it. So we definitely want to venture off into some different things. We like a lot of rock and a lot of alternative stuff too, but there's still a void for some good soul funk.
Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure hanging out with you, and good luck this year at the 59th Grammy Awards.
Thank you. Not like we need it.
Yes. So Anderson Paak, everybody. Album is Malibu, and he's going to do something special for all of us tonight. I want to thank Apogee Studios for having us here, Grammy Pros Up Close and Personal with Anderson Paak. I'm DJ Moon Baby once again. Thank you for tuning in.